Hello, I'm Marcus V. Calvert, and welcome to Tales Unlimited. The Batchery prompt of the day is number 56. A bloodthirsty supervillain has trouble maintaining his secret identity of a loving family man slash community activist. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is he going to go Bruce Wayne, Batman, just make him dark? Too easy in terms of cliche, too hard to realistically maintain, right? Here's how I do it. Staying in prompt. Uh, this guy's a normal dude. Loving father, loving husband, raised by activists, raised to fight for the little guy. Top of his class in Columbia Law School. Um, let's make him Hispanic. And his thing is, okay, I'm fighting for the little guy, pick the cause, public interest law. I'm a pro. Give me the resources, give me the research. I will fight any case anywhere. He has argued cases not up to the Supreme Court yet because he's only in his early 30s, but they're looking at him because he rarely loses. When he takes a case to court and the case is legit and he has time to research it properly and all the pieces are there, he does not lose. He argues with passion. He is a sharp mind. He has a knack for reading people. It's uncanny, right? And then maybe that's why they picked him. So he's heading home from the grocery store one day, talking to his loving wife, and then poof, he disappears mid-call. People are freaked out. Disappears. Days turn into weeks, turn into months. Then they find it. A lab. People snatched from different reasons. No one knows what the connection is. All the people involved in the project are dead. The research destroyed, the surveillance destroyed. Everybody in there is dead, except for this guy. Everybody's dead. He's the only guy still alive. The test subjects, some of them got out, some of them were let out, some of them were beaten to death. They all seem to have died violently. It's weird. Very weird that you only have other people's blood on you, not even a bruise. So they poke and prod you, and they do every test under the sun, and you control the tests that check your brain activity so you can appear perfectly normal. Because during those months, they basically unlocked your mind. You're the first subject to exhibit powers. You know exactly who they're about, where they're from, all of it, and you're going to kill them all, but that's another story for another day. Right now, you have to pretend to be perfectly normal, or they'll never let you out of a lab, or they'll just kill you and dissect you. That's not going to happen. You're a family man. You have obligations to causes to fight. So just because you're basically a perfectly groomed psychic, you can read minds, control minds, communicate over vast distances, and that's it. Those are your only three powers. You decide to fight for the little guy, get your vengeance, and still be there for your family, whatever it takes. Oh, yes. You have a Flanders smile on your face, but inside. Oh, inside. And once in a while, you actually still feel you feel like the old you, especially when you win a case by cheating. I mean, by utilizing the law and reading the minds of, the opposing counsel. You know what they're going to do before they do it. You know how they're going to cheat. They know, when they're going to tamper with your witnesses. And the people who are involved, you don't even get your hands dirty. You just figure out who their enemies are and you stir them up. Sometimes it's a phone call, a text off a burner phone. Sometimes you directly go into their minds and make them commit suicide or whatever, the people you're targeting, or you go to their enemies and say, hey, they did this to you. You want to take them down? Do that to them. So within a year, everybody involved in that experiment, from surviving technicians who weren't there that day to the shadowy genetics firm that was involved to the government liaisons who helped cover it up, all dead. And you are just riding high because you're fighting for the little man, and you're basically cleaning up the system your way, no matter how bloody it gets. psychics is the best way, in my humble opinion, until you run into maybe other psychics. Um, and of course, you probably would have to cover your tracks, like people doing who did the testing on you. You're a perfectly normal guy. You make them believe that. You make them swear to it. Then, of course, another psychic comes along from another batch of experiments and goes, "Yep, their minds have been tampered with." Then you have problems, right? I mean, maybe the longer you go at this, the more you kind of put yourself out there. You're being clever. You think you're being clever, but you fall into a certain pattern and folks start digging into you. It's probably how your story ends in a bad way. But going off prompt, magic. Going off prompt, the cliche. Well, actually, staying on prompt, the cliche crime fighter thing, like you pick up powers from that lab and you make a costume and you try to be like, by night you're so and so, by day you're loving husband. You can try that crap, but it doesn't work in the real world. You're gonna leave clues behind. You know what I mean? Um, you could also change the genre, make it fantasy. Like now that would be better. Like, okay, you're Zorro or the Scarlet Pimpernel. You're living close and tight to an evil king. Like you're a count, you're a baron. It's like you were putting on a mask to fight for the little man and stop tyranny. Blah blah blah. Like Robin Hood, or the Robin Hood movie reboot they did like a year or two ago. Interesting idea. All right, I'm gonna stop there. I'm Marcus V. Calvert. This is Tales Unlimited. Please check out talesunlimited.net. That's where the podcasts are. There's one for the Batchery Daily Prompt, and there's one for the Disturbing Thought of the Day. They hit daily. Also, there are links. The links go to Amazon. Click them, and you can access ebooks and print. There's the Batchery series. It's meant for anyone who wants to write a good novel. Basically, the logic is take the system on, head on, start small, build your chops, and then you'll be able to actually sell books before you finish your novel, if you follow the system through and through. It's also good for anyone who just wants to find strange ideas. 200 prompts, and they're not normal, like today's, for example. So it's good for evil GMs, game designers, comic book writers, screenwriters, novelists who maybe just want one prompt or like a different idea for their next series, something like that. Batchery's the place. Then there are anthologies. There is Unheroic and the Book of Schemes. Both are, I think, new school Twilight Zone. 25 stories to a book. The themes are different, though. Unheroic's about unlikely heroes saving the day, like an evil super genius finds out he's dying from an incurable tumor. So he creates a way to take over the world without anyone knowing it. All he has to do is kill, well, every superhero and supervillain on the planet and fake his own death. Yeah. It's complicated. And then there's the Book of Schemes, which is all about schemes. Some brilliant, some twisted, some, well, fantasy. Like this guy, he's sent to save a noblewoman from being sacrificed to a war goddess, but apparently he gets there a little bit too late. He interrupts the sacrifice midway, and he thinks he saved her, but what is really happening is a very slow and messy possession by the war goddess into her new vessel. Uh-oh. And then a villain novel series. Think Sin City with superpowers. 4 books so far about a gentleman named Benjamin Clyde, gentleman fixer, dude in a suit. He has hundreds of mercenaries, handpicked, elite, the best of the best. A lot of them have powers. You need him to do something, legal or illegal, no questions asked, he's the guy. Until one night, he's forced to give up his empire. Just like that. Fire everybody, give up his money, never be a crook again. And the icing on the cake, the salt in the wound, he has to personally fight crime. This villain has to fight crime in a place worse than Gotham. Skip a night, you die. Leave town, you die. Anyone helps you, they die. Good luck. Funny thing is, he thrives. And he starts a business called iVillain. What do? They target the worst villains on the planet, kill them, and take their stuff. Because villains trying to take over the world or destroy it, they tend to be rich, right? Okay, I'm Marcus V. Calvert. This is Tales Unlimited. Till next time.